Hello, everybody. It is Thursday, the 13th of January. I want to talk about the flaming cherubims that are stood at the entrance of the Garden of Knowledge. And to say really that they are working the division between our conscious and subconscious knowledge, which is again the left and the right hand side of your brain. The knowledge of now, the material knowledge of what is happening right now, which is the woman, and her husband, which is our subconscious, which is the knowledge of all. Now, it is not all as in all, but himself is the accumulation of lifetimes, knowledge of lifetimes, where the woman should permanently give to her husband, and she does. You know, what we experience enters into the subconscious. But she should also receive of it, which at the moment we receive very little of our own subconscious, which is why we can be led by something else. Because we are in need of that knowledge. At the moment, our subconscious is desperately trying to reach us, and we receive very little. And that is because of the flaming cherubims. Because we receive according to what we think we are. And those cherubims are judgments as to what you should receive. And those judgments, God's judgment, was that you are but dust, you are the village idiot. You know nothing, you will surely die. And then, of course, there's the curse with the woman and the serpent, and the woman being blamed for everything that is going on. So the village idiot now is to blame for everything that's going on. So what did Eve do wrong? Or what did the serpent do? The serpent created a question in Eve. There was another piece of information that went contrary to what was mainstream in the garden. And that is that God was almighty and he knew everything and he was righteous. So there was an information coming that went against this mainstream perception. And it made Eve think. I mean, God forbid that she should think for herself. And she gave of that knowledge to her husband. That knowledge entered into the subconscious. And with every new bit of knowledge that we give to the subconscious, that enters into it, the subconscious rearranges, its knowledge. In the light of new knowledge, we have to kind of rearrange what we knew before. So it is constantly shifting, building new structures. But then we should receive back from this, new construct, and we don't. Because and there is the bit where the conscious part of us has accepted that judgment. We are the village idiot. This is all our fault. And we receive according to what we know ourselves to be. So the woman, the conscious part, receives of the subconscious according to how she sees herself. And what we receive of the subconscious when we are conscious is quite often just flaming arrows. You know yourself to be nothing, you know yourself to be idiots, and all the memories that come up out of the pit are according to how you know yourself to be. It's hurtful memories. But it's we ourselves, through the acceptance of that judgment, are determining what it is we're receiving. And I don't think it is, and that is our true husband, our subconscious is our true husband. He is trying to give. I'm sure of that. There is no judgment in him, he just wants to give to you. It is you yourself that is determining what it is you're receiving. So, and it is the subconscious at the moment that is trying so very hard to get through to us. But it's getting through, and then our conscious prevents. If you listen, like again, I'm bringing up David Icke, but he's such a great example all the time. Where he says, there is so much more out there. Yes. You're only receiving very, very little. Yes. So that is the knowledge of our subconscious that's trying to tell us, you know more than you know. Let me give to you. But then at the same time where he's saying that, the next thing is, but the ego is the village idiot. So he's reinforcing that flaming cherubim that will not allow that knowledge to come out. So what he's doing is actually completely bipolar. But they must work together. They must see each other. They must know their function, and then they must give to each other. And as I said, get rid of the flaming cherubims that are preventing the knowledge from getting through. The reason why we can be led by anything and everything is because we don't have access to our own knowledge. And we've been told not to access it. Don't go there. And then, of course, by our own judgment and what we're receiving of the subconscious, like the hurtful memories, we are kind of afraid to go there anyway now. Because there'll be monsters in there. There's a lot more than monsters in there. And the other thing is that the flaming arrows of judgment that come toward you, you accept all the responsibility every time. I mean, they're completely indiscriminate. It could be something where you have done something wrong, but there were a lot of mitigating circumstances that led you into doing this wrong. It could be something that has actually been done to you, but you indiscriminately just take the blame for everything. So there's no sound judgment there. So now the last thing one more thing I want to talk about is the veil. The veil is obviously created that we live in a world where we've been told what we are, where we've been told how to do, God or something should rule over us. And out of that, we acquiesced. We built this world. But it's all going down back to that judgment. Why it could only be done if we accept that judgment to start with. If we accept ourselves as idiots and sinful and I don't know what. So as long as we accept that, those flaming cherubims will be there. They can only be there because we give power to them. So then you have these people that say, well, this is a program, just rewrite the program. But if you write another program out of not the fullness of the knowledge of yourself, but out of how your things would like to be or stuff like that, it's again an illusion. It's not based on the truth. So you are creating another veil. I mean, okay, this one has not been created for you. You're doing it yourself, but it's still not the fullness of the truth. We must gain access to our subconscious. And yeah, that's the last thing. So I said you must remove those flaming cherubims, the guilt tripping. First of all. But what have you then? Because if you throw the barn door wide open and there's nothing preventing anymore, then you would suffer information overload. I mean, if it were to come all gushing out all at once, you fry. So there has to be something at the gate, something that determines what you should receive, to, again, narrow it down. You are narrowing it down. Everything is just too much. You cannot work with everything. So you need to narrow it down. The flaming cherubims of guilt narrow it down so small that you receive nearly nothing. And that is the very narrow bandwidth on which you receive now. So we need to widen it, but not as in, make it all too much. So we need something that determines what information should come out. I mean, all of what we experience goes in, but what should come out? And there is where you take responsibility for yourself. You take responsibility for your own knowledge. You become your own master. So growing up does not mean you can do whatever you want, but you take responsibility. You set your own boundaries, so you are setting your own bandwidth. And you are determining what information should go on that. And then the thought that it should serve life. And not just yours, but that of others, nature, this planet. Whatever knowledge would serve that. You ask for that. And then you are, again, in charge of yourself. You're in charge of your own knowledge. You determine what will actually rise out of the pit into awareness. You are determining that. Because you're saying, this is what it should serve. Anyway, I leave it at that for today, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.